Hi guys, welcome, Sally Galvin. I'm here today with an amazing woman that lives just down the road from me, as a matter of fact. I'd like to introduce to you Mary McKay-Walton. Welcome, Mary.
Hello.
So Mary is just about as crazy or even crazier than I am. No, she's not really. She's a woman with a big heart and a big dream and is very passionate about educating children. So Mary is owner, founder, teaching principal of Eton Farm Primary School. It's now Eton Farm Primary School. It was Eton Farm Education, wasn't it, Mary?
That's right, yep.
So we are here in one of the classrooms. The kids are all over in the main room and we're just here in one of the other classrooms. And I just have been absolutely inspired and in awe. I've been watching Mary's journey. And why would... You guys were dairy farmers as well, weren't you?
Dairy farmers back in the 40s.
Yeah, like with my grandparents, yeah. Why would a dairy farmer's great-granddaughter decide to turn her farm into a primary school? So we are in Serpentine here. Eton Farm is the original name of the farm, and the most beautiful big old building next door to us is the main farmhouse. Is the main teaching, the main classroom. And Mary has turned this, so she opened it in 2018, but she has been, properly open as a primary school, or registered as a proper primary school here since the beginning of this year, 2020. So okay, let's take it from there, Mary. Why in God's earth would you turn this into a pretty magnificent primary school, I've just got to say? So tell me let's start from the beginning.
Oh, from the beginning. First there was Mary.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
Well, the farm's been here since my great-grandfather bought it in 1908. So your dairy farm, sheep, we had 2,000 head of sheep, beef cattle. And so I was in the line to inherit a farm, which I sadly, gladly did. So as an educator, so I've been a music educator. I started teaching piano when I was 17, over in my mum's house next door. And through exploration and my children learning music, I learned about an approach that's very child-centered. And I've always wanted to share the farm with children like I experienced it. And as an educator, wanted children to be free to learn in a relaxed, happy, safe environment. My experience is only in alternative education, and so I worked at a school in Mount Clermont called the Quintilian School, and that's where I saw the benefit of an approach where small class sizes, individualised learning, and what I could see is that could I come and do that here? So in the back of my mind, when I was looking after my parents in their, the latter years, I was thinking, oh well, one day, maybe. So that was sort of a dream to do that. And having grown up in Serpentine, I've come back to Serpentine after travelling a lot, and there's not a lot has changed. And I thought, I really want to do this. I know we're a little bit further out, but this is something that I've wanted to do as an educator. I just want children to have the best education possible. And I know this approach works. And I love kids. Yeah. And I want them to be confident. I want to build, if we can build beautiful children, we'll have beautiful adults so that we can influence the world with these beautiful children. We're not all going to do it, but, I think there's lots of adults around with lots of problems and, they want to help themselves, but if we can just look after the children and we can just nurture them to become beautiful adults, why not? So, we are.
Mary and I are speaking the same language here.
I think we are.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. So if we can create a generation of grounded, resilient, kind, happy children that can self-adjust and, improvise, adapt and overcome. And if they are kind kids, if they are just, then they grow up and then they create. And the ripple effect blows my mind.
Absolutely.
And that's what gets me up in the morning, and I can see it gets you up in the morning.
Yeah.
And I've just had a tour around the school, and it's nothing short of truly amazing. So back to you really wanting to share, you loved your upbringing as a child.
Yeah.
And you really wanted to share, because I can relate to that as well.
Yeah.
Wide open spaces and muddy puddles and climbing trees and animals and farm. It's just such a blessed upbringing, and you're wanting to share that with all kids.
Yeah, all kids, because I can see, and you know, we've been here with music. We touch wood. We haven't had an accident at all in that time. The children I encourage them to take the risk. That I'm there for them if they need us. They're confident within themselves, and that if we can build that self-confidence, and that in this environment you can. And it's almost like someone came the other day and she was saying, the earth is so good for children, and you know, we can rave on about that, and you know, people think we're nutty or whatever, but we know that it is, because you know, we grew up like that, and it just feels right, it feels good. They love mud. Why shouldn't they play in mud? Do they get the opportunity? Not really.
No.
But I've got mud.
It's fabulous. Do you know, though, because you are so well staffed as well, that would be why, you know, as long as the children are under, you know, good supervision, that is key. So we all love to, grow up with dirt underneath our fingernails and really explore and create and, you know, let our imagination run wild, because the children learn through imagination here, don't they?
Absolutely. So it's an experiential learning approach. So the approach that I've learned a lot about and studied internationally is called the ORF approach, which is ORFF. Now he's a music ORF, ORFF. So Carl Orff is a composer, and he devised this approach back in the 1930s when they were looking at different ways. So there's a bit of a change in the world of art and dance and music in the 1930s. They were sort of from Renegades, and they played around with dancing differently and doing a bit of drama, and you know, it was all a bit. So if anyone wants to look at the history at that time, it's quite different. So they looked at the fact that music and movement could go together, which had never happened before. Dance was dance, music was music, and in doing that, they also looked at the patterns of talking and the rhythm that comes from your speech. So this approach encompasses creative movement, speech, playing melodic and non-melodic instruments, so like xylophones and drums and that sort of stuff. But it's all coming from here. It's all coming from, so a child has everything they need to do the beat. They have rhythms from here. They can make a sound, so they can create pitch and song. And the creative movement is just them playing around with things that they love to do. But the process of this teaching approach is imitation, exploration, and improvisation. So I do it, you do it, I do it, you do it. When we've got it, we play around together, and then you play around on your own, and you make it your own. So as much as that's linked to music and movement education, it actually works in English and maths. And the teachers I've got understand that. So that whilst the child is experiencing something we've given, so we've given them something concrete. So if you have a piece of art, you might have a Van Gogh. I mean, my beautiful teacher Trish, I think you know.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
She did a beautiful Starry Nights from Van Gogh. So they saw it, they talked about it, they looked, what time of the day was it, what could you see there? So there's all this language around this painting. And then they chose the colours that linked to the colours. So there was something concrete for them to work from. So it's not like we're saying to the kids, just imagine it's a starry night and whatever. We're giving them something because they have to have something to work from. They can't, we've got to teach them. So through that experiential learning, what happens then is we watch them explore. And as we watch them explore, we can see what help they might need, what they'll just go into their passion. So they're safe. They're not being judged. There's no competition. They're just doing what they can with what they've got. Is there anything wrong? No right or wrong. In music, so music and art, an excellent subject. So our program is basically music, art, and the environment, nature play. We've got all this to play with. So they're all safe subjects that they can be happy and confident. And then there's a new English program from Britain called Letters and Sounds is the first one, and then Talk to Writing, which works exactly the same. So it's already in English and maths. So it's hands-on maths, hands-on reading and talking. And so then children, as I say, they've got what they need. We just have to work with them.
Mould that.
Yeah, and that exploration certainly is a way that you can assess them and watch them, and say, okay, they need that, they did that. So you put it in your little backpack and think, next time I teach,
that's what I'm going to.
That's what we're going to work for, and how can I do it without saying, you don't know how to do 20 plus 20, so you're going to sit there and you're going to do it until you get it right.
Yeah.
You have creative ways, so you must have creative teachers.
And the only way you can have that is small, really small classrooms, isn't
Absolutely.
it? Small amounts of students.
Yep.
Because, so I have 4 children, 4 boys,
Yep.
and not all of my boys fit perfectly into the standard education system. I did because I just did. I knew how to learn, I knew how to get, I knew how to please, I knew how to take it and what's it called when you just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it.
Yeah.
But whereas one of my sons in particular is, the mainstream education just does not, he does his best, but it just does not fit him. And I think that in today's society, more and more children are like that.
Absolutely.
Aren't
Yeah, yeah. They are. Look, I think there is certainly, whether you put the 80-20 rule, I don't know. But there's kids that, they just go. So, like, you just went bang, bang, bang. I wasn't hard to educate. I was a one-on-one. I was a horse rider too. So me and my horse, we worked well together. And group things, I didn't work well in a group. I couldn't learn in a group. I could work one-to-one. So learning an instrument was really easy for me.
Yeah.
So I can see that, so a lot of, sometimes when something happens with one of the teachers or watch the kids, I go, and it's something, it's an intuitive thing, thinking, no, that's not right, that's right. We can't have it too chaotic for children. Yeah. Because chaos, they can't cope with chaos. No. They can't differentiate chaos. Yeah. We need to make it as simple as possible, step by step. And we're, in this approach, when you teach, you go, nah, actually, back one stage. But you do it within yourself and go, no, he's not getting it, she's not getting it. We all need to feel happy. We all need to be, got to know that child's getting it. So I just take it back. The kids have already got it, don't really care. Because you're just changing it up for these other kids, and then they come along and then you've got it. Yeah. So I think for us here is small class sizes, teachers who understand a creative approach. So for our 4-year-olds, we've got 10 children. 3-year-olds, 10 children. 4-year-olds, 12 children. Pre-primary, 15. Yeah. And then it will go up to 20 per class. But in starting, when you can have this 5-year plan with theory,
absolutely.
I think we're going to be mixed age groups, which is a fantastic way to learn. So I think the fact that you're saying that children need something like this, I think they do.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think that once again the adult is holding it back because they're not sure, they're not confident in themselves that everyone else is doing this, so I better do that. And that's how I learned. So they'll be okay. They'll get through it. And they will. Look, people who come here have to be a bit brave, especially at the moment. Yeah. Brand new. Yeah. What's this crazy lady doing on a farm? Yeah. The kids go and play in the mud with no shoes. That can't be good. Although deep down in their child, they'd say, it's great, but I better be a responsible parent. I don't know.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing for each of with the small classrooms, for each of the teachers to know every single child, their ins and outs and where they are, and so they can tailor everything specifically to that child's need.
Absolutely. And
I love the underlying current of building self-confidence, deep levels of self-confidence, not what a lot of people see is confidence is used in the wrong way often sometimes with children where you get bold, cheeky kids. I love that lovely underlying deep level of inner self-confidence where kids are socially and emotionally intelligent. You build their social and emotional intelligence along with their numeracy, their literacy, and you do that with your music and your movement.
Absolutely.
And your art.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's because there is no right and wrong.
No.
It's and even if you say, okay, the rhythm might be wrong, doesn't matter. The approach, kids know when something's wrong.
They do.
They just know it. Yeah. And so in a big classroom, now I might say, it's great that the government gives free education, and if you've got to go to the government schools and those poor teachers have got 30 kids, you know, they do the best they can with 30 kids.
They certainly
I'm
do.
choosing not to do that because I want kids to have that more individualised learning. But so they do know if it's right or wrong, and they are sitting in the corner in that big classroom going, oh, I've got no idea. And does the teacher have time to tell them?
No.
Largely no. So they just get lost. You know, we have one little girl here at the moment who was a government school, and she's come. It's actually a daughter of our administrator. So, and she's just gone, and she's, as a 7-year-old, missed out on a whole lot of stuff for a number of reasons. No criticism to anybody. And now she's just zooming.
Yeah.
She's just zooming, and she's just a different little
thriving.
girl. Oh, absolutely. And we say she should be our poster girl, you know, because she's so confident. And yeah, I think after working at the Quintillian School, I was there for 10 years. The thought was we get, you know, smart kids who just think they're hot, and they don't. They're just confident, and they actually don't. They miss that everyone thinks they're smarty pants or something like that. They think, they just go, oh yeah, this is me. This is what I do.
This is who I am.
This is my passion,
and this is what I've got to offer.
Yeah, and they just do it. I mean, my son was a basketballer, and when he played at Perry Lakes as the 8-year-old, you know, well, his whole team. So a team of kids, all at Quintillion, where there's no competition. Everyone's a winner, apparently. They were applauding the other side when they got a goal.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone's going, what?
Just good sportsmanship.
Yeah, that's right.
So tell me that story you told me quickly before we turn the camera on about when you first went to the music. The music.
Oh, with the adult?
Yeah.
Okay. So my son, when he was 18 months old, I decided he should have the best music teacher. So I drove from Serpentine to Sawyers Valley, which is about an hour away, once a week, because he must have the best education. So music teacher I knew, and so he was, there was a few parents around. You used to sit around in the class. So one night she decided to have just the parents in, so we could learn about the approach. So there's about 5 of us, probably 2 of us were musicians, plus her. And one parent came and said, look, I bring my child here, but I'm not a musician and I can't do music and I'm really frightened and I can't do this. Anyway, she came in. In that time, in 45 minutes, we learnt 2 songs, we did a dance, we played some instruments, and then we put it all together. So we learnt them in sections and in sort of step-by-step process. Her job was to sit at the xylophone and to play C and G, and that's all she had to do. So she's playing C and G like that. But in this approach, because you've got all these different levels, what she heard in her ears was quite a complex piece of music. And that's how it works. It works beautifully for children. The same thing is everyone plays a little bit, but it becomes this big piece. And so she's sitting there playing the xylophone, getting bigger and bigger. And at the end she said, did you see me? Did you see what I did? And I thought, you played C and G, love. But... Oh, I didn't
Built
say
her
that.
confidence.
She was just flying out of the room, said, I performed music.
Yeah.
And at that point, because I wasn't involved in learning about Orff at that time, I thought, wow, if that can do that to an adult with all of our inhibitions, what's a child going to do? You know? And that's when I went, okay, got to find out more about this. And that was probably in the 1990s, I suppose. Yeah. So since then I've been on this.
So in the 1990s, it wasn't so readily, people would often have thought you were crackers to even head down that path. It's now a lot more, people never talked about, meditation or even learning through music or movement, or let alone a school on a farm.
Yeah.
Now it's becoming more readily acceptable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So your timing's right now.
I think my timing's right. Yeah, I think, well, as you know, in this area, there's an alternative school about 30 minutes away. Other than that, in this area, there's nothing.
No, yeah.
I've also modelled it. There's a school in Bangkok that I went to visit, which is also an Orff school. These 2 biological sisters started about 17 years ago. And so I went over there to have a look to see, okay, how do they do this with the other subjects?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Is it?
Oh, absolutely.
Just harmonious.
Harmonious, and they have an acre of land in Bangkok. They've built up this beautiful building, and now they only go up to 6 years old, I think. But just gorgeous. I mean, they're Thai people, so they're, exude this beauty and love of all things, but just lovely. So I learnt a lot through there. So, yeah, I've spent a lot of time thinking about it and the implication of it and where it could go. So, you know, we have a 5-year plan of where we want to go, and
let's go there. What's your
go
plan?
there.
What is your plan?
Okay, plan, Stan. So the plan is initially, well, I'll tell you what. Initially, with our plan, we're going to roll out a year class each year. But I think what we're going to be doing now is, because we've got up to year 3, we'll consolidate that for next year. We've got a new building coming, so that the site we're on right now will have that extra sort of 1, 2, 3 classroom, cool. And the pre-kindies and the kindies pre-primaries will be separate. Mm-hmm. Then 3rd year on, we've got a bit of space out the front here. Mm-hmm. We're going to put some classrooms and an oval out there. Yeah. So having 160 acres, you can sort of play around where you put things.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's open to, look, it's a parent-run school. Yep. So I really encourage the parents to say, okay, where are we going? What are we doing? I've set this up. Where do you want to go next? Yep. Because they can, you know, they can take it to wherever they want. And they come up to me and said, why don't we add this? You know, I mean, our philosophy's pretty set, I suppose, and they come because they like that. So, but what more things can we add? You know, we've got a new playground being given to us that's coming. So, look, the whole process of me doing this, every now and then I think I'm pushing it, and I step back and go, don't push it, and something amazing happens.
And then it flows.
Yeah. So that's our goal every year, to sort of get a little bit bigger. It's not about having 500 children. I think maximum probably will only ever have 100 children, if that. But certainly going, so we have a 2-year-olds that come with their parents, which is like a playgroup type thing. Mm-hmm. But they can, everyone can come and access what we have here. And, you know, we've got a pony that they can come and pat. And the thing that you were talking about before about being on a farm is that they learn about, as you would do, you've got to brush the horse, you've got to feed the horse, you can't ride it, you want to ride it, but we've got to do all these things first. You know, and that we go and see the cows, and the cows have calves, and the calves go to market, you know, it's all pretty
circle
practical.
of life.
That's right, so they learn all about that. So we want to add more animals. I've got someone up the road who's got some goats that, you know, baby goats, and they give them to you for 12 months, and you feed them, and then they give them back. They give them back for good.
That is good.
So we've got some chickens. So, you know, it'll just be parents wanting to do more. We've got a veggie garden. Want to do more with environmental science. So as the kids get older, so as we get, you know, sort of, well, even year 1, 2, 3s now are doing things with soil and water, is that we can go out there and do experiments. We can look at soil improvement and regenerative agriculture and things like that. So, yeah, let them use the farm to learn all those things. So that's where
brilliant.
We're going.
That's absolutely brilliant. And how blessed are you that you've got to spare 160 acres? Very, very good.
A lot of fencing at the moment, but there you go.
No, I know it's not. It's endless. It's
endless fencing.
Mary, that is absolutely amazing. This little school is just the beginning of some pretty amazing things.
I hope so, yeah.
It's an absolute credit to you.
Thank you.
To do something incredibly left field to most people. Like, not to you, it doesn't feel like it. No. But not the average person would go, you know, I think I'll turn this farm into a school. And it's brilliant. It's a credit to you. And I'm absolutely delighted with what I've seen here today. Like, I'll pop a link in below so you guys can access Eton Farm Primary School and get in touch if you need to, if you're wanting to. I'd highly recommend it. It is something that we need more of.
That's good. Well, we've got an open day.
That's right.
29th of August, Saturday. So, you know, I don't know where everybody is.
What time?
10 o'clock.
Cool.
So 10 o'clock during the day,
Cool. And to get here, I just Googled Eton Farm Primary School and it brought me straight here. How good's that?
Good old Google.
Yeah, thank you for technology.
Yeah.
So we've got an open day.
Yeah, open day.
26th of August.
29th of August.
Or
Saturday.
29th.
Saturday the 29th.
Cool.
Look, we have different events. We did have, well, we actually did it with the parents. We had a winter solstice party and did a bonfire and just with the families. But we would love to have another fair during the springtime. So fingers crossed that COVID stays away from WA.
Holds us,
Yeah, and then we might do that. So people can come and experience. I mean,
so if they follow you on Facebook, they'll know what's coming up, won't they? Facebook
absolutely.
is the best for everything like that, isn't it?
And, you know, I just want to share this property. I mean, it might sound a bit altruistic, but it's a beautiful property.
It is.
I've grown up on it, and I want to share it with people. I mean, my father was farm, work. And that was great. That was fine. That's his thing. And he's handed it over to me, and this is what I want to do with it. I mean, I've still got my beef cows and some horses and whatever, but I want to share the place with people. And, you know, in respect for myself and for everybody coming here, that, you know, it is respected, but that people can come and share it, and kids can have a great time. You know, gotta love the kids.
Told you she's got a big heart, isn't she? Mary, that's absolutely amazing. Thanks so much for inviting me in here today.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, and I have to say I'm really impressed with what I've seen. Not that I'm any judge, but like, this is definitely something we need more of.
Thank you.
Good job, Mary.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Take care. Ciao for now.